Welcome back to our YouTube channel. We are so happy you're here, and today we are going to tell you a little bit more about us. So if you've been watching our other episodes, we've shown you our newest old home in Georgetown, and today we're going to tell you how we met and how we got into real estate. So Jason, do you want to start?
We're starting with our how we first met each other. Oh man, so we're both ice dancers. If you guys are bored of this video, just go on Google and you can find me in like a one-piece rhinestone figure skating costume. So if we bore you, that's a great Googling material item. We were both ice dancers. We both moved to Pennsylvania to train with these crazy Russian coaches.
They weren't all crazy. Some of them were really wonderful. Most of them were really wonderful.
Most are wonderful, but it was an intense training experience. And so the whole funny part of the story is that Allie wanted to skate with me because we did pair skating, and I really wanted to date Allie. And I knew if that we skated together that it would not be a dating scenario. So I kept on telling her and her partner how great they were together. They should continue to skate. And I think maybe that was the one thing I won in our marriage over the years.
The one thing.
Yeah, because we started dating, and we both decided to stop skating at the same time. Skating brought us together. And the craziness of our lives came together, and we both went to college, lived apart from each other, and then ended up getting proposed and getting engaged.
Also, everyone always asks if we skated together or if we competed against each other, and we never did. He represented Canada, I represented the US, but we trained with Russian coaches in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's a big story. I mean, in the end, I think we'd skated together a couple of times.
Just practicing, learning things, like trading partners to learn how to do different like lifts and spins, and we took a lot of ballet classes together, rhythmic gymnastics together.
Some deep squats.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so that's how we met.
Yes. And then over the years, what's so crazy is I feel like that's a piece of our marriage that's super important, because being a high-level competitive athlete, traveling the world, competing internationally, there's a piece of us that it's like a really core foundation to our marriage, I think, of how we perceive the world. So I think that's been really powerful for us, and taking huge risks. I mean, took a huge risk in skating, moved away from home when I was 14.
I was 18
years old, and having that kind of independence, I think, really was foundational as making decisions as a young couple, and then getting married super young. We were 23. I know all the numbers, you can tell. Yeah. We've been married for
10 years.
10 years. That'd be crazy. 11 years this August.
That's right. And real estate was something we do a lot of now, but something that was like a common through line all throughout. Even when we were living in Pennsylvania, we were living on the main line, and Jason would be going to showings all the time, really
touring
interested.
Houses.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you grew up in a family where you were flipping houses a lot. And I grew up in a family that has stayed in the same home in Massachusetts since before I was born, but has built up, back, side to side. They've built a garage and like all kinds of things, and they've acquired other real estate, and they've been involved in...
I grew up in a house like being flipped though.
Yes, which is totally the opposite of what I had.
Like my family, we would all live in one room with a microwave and 2 mattresses. I would come home from school, renovate that house, and then we would sell it. My entire high school was in a house being flipped. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I
think we both bring different things to the table. Like an experience I had was growing up in a family with a lot of rental properties. So I got to see how the ups and the downs of that all works. And I was at first, when we first got together, Jason was really intent on our first property would be one that would have more than one unit.
Oh yeah, house hacking.
And we would have a tenant, and I was really trepidatious about having a tenant that lived right beneath us.
She was not interested in this in the beginning.
I wasn't, but we've done it a lot, and it's worked out.
Yes. So it all starts somewhere. So we took a bunch of leaps of faith. First leap of faith was moving to the middle of nowhere for your first job. You're a news reporter.
I was a news reporter for an NBC station in upstate New York, and Jason worked for Walmart.
I worked for Walmart.
It was fantastic.
That's a story for another YouTube channel. Where you start and where you end up is a journey. But that was our first kind of big leap of faith. And our second leap of faith was our first big real estate purchase, which was our first house.
Our first condo in Alexandria.
Yeah. So the first condo we bought, we barely put enough money down for the down payment, but the whole house needed to be renovated. And that was like a 50%, like a handyman helping us, and then us doing the renovation ourselves. Did your dad give us a loan for the first renovation? I think he may have.
He may have.
It was tight.
But
it was really tight.
It was a modest renovation, and it was cosmetic. It wasn't like no walls were being taken down. It was also a condo, and I think of condos as sort of like, for the academics among us, like a multiple choice exam where you're like picking between options. It's not total freeform, which is like more what we do now, separate apart from the confines of being in a historic property. It was like kitchens bathrooms,
Yeah.
lighting.
Painting cabinets, changing carpet, painting walls, taking off mirrors, changing lighting. Yeah. But that's amazing because you need to realize like that was transformational for us. We still own that house today. And snapshot of how powerful real estate is. We bought that house for $300,000. It's worth $450,000 today. We've owned it for almost 9 years now, 10 years. And it makes us $500-600 a month every single month. We've paid off the mortgage by $60,000-70,000 during that period of time. That one little investment's made us $250,000 really quickly. So that was like the start. And then from there, we knew we wanted to continue to invest in real estate. And for us, you know, you were in law school. We had law school. We had me starting my own business, which I have today. So we had a lot of big risks we were doing.
And by starting your own business, you became a real estate sales agent focused on residential sales.
Yeah. So for all of you now, I run one of the largest real estate firms here in Maryland, DC, and Virginia called the Shepherd Homes Group. Staff about 36 people. But I started that company part-time when I was working a full-time job as a store manager at Target. And you're in law school. It's crazy. But our journey just kept in by buying new principal residences, right?
Yes.
And our second big purchase was that F Street?
Yes. And we purchased F Street, that's also on Capitol Hill, when we were living downtown.
Our first multifamily.
It was our first multifamily. And my first job out of law school was at a big firm where the number of hours you work is super important. And so we decided to live downtown to make it as easy as possible.
We decided to live downtown. Do you want to tell that story?
No, I don't. I think that we should keep moving forward. I think that's
story for another day.
We decided to live downtown. We transitioned to having one car and
big life changes.
Big life changes. And we decided that we were living like right across from the White House area.
And to anchor that story for another day, this all happened in 90 days. Allie's very good at taking not small leaps of faith. She will build the bridge and bring the village with her in a very short period of time. So in 90 days, it was living in Virginia to moving into a short-term rental across the White House downtown, losing a car, and changing jobs.
Yes. And then soon thereafter, we decided that we wanted to have a home that we owned. We liked the privacy.
I couldn't be a real estate agent and like be renting.
Yes.
Just against my mantra.
We also rented for less than a year.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was a crazy long amount of time. We bought a property on the hill. We lived in it while we renovated it. That was hard.
That was really hard. So this house was a very small historic home built in 1883. So it was a first historic renovation, but upstairs was 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. And then downstairs was a studio. And so when we renovated the upstairs bathroom, we would have to, like, let's say nature calls at 1 a.m. You'd have to leave the house, go down the stairs to the lower unit where we're keeping all of our construction supplies. It was filthy. Use the bathroom, go back outside, go back upstairs, back to our unit. We did it for 3 months, 4 months.
It was gross. Yes, it was not my
Labor
favorite.
of love.
It was harder than I thought it was going to be, but we got it done. And I think it's an important lesson in that we have all these properties now. A lot of them were not super convenient.
No. In fact, I think all of our first homes were sacrifice homes that had utility. I think it was a great location. We bought for location. We were smart with what we invested in, but there was sacrifice related to those living circumstances.
And so we bought our first place on the hill and we knew that we wanted another one on the hill.
We loved the hills, such a good market.
So we wanted something a little bit bigger. So that's where we are now. And all of the residences, with the exception of the condo in Alexandria, which is, I don't want to say cookie cutter, but it is more cookie cutter.
Yeah.
So that was more cookie cutter, but our 2 on the hill are older homes with character. Our next one in Georgetown that we'll be showing you a lot about throughout this channel is definitely more special and has more character to it. But then while we've been doing all of that, we've also been building our portfolio and diversifying all the other types of properties that we have for investment purposes.
Yeah, we have found that buying principal residential real estate has a lot of benefits. Like we bought this home now, which was our second biggest project ever during COVID. And so our interest rate here was 2.625. So by having that principal residence rate, it was transformational in how this asset will serve us long term. But even this one was practical because we have a rental downstairs in this one as well, 2 bed, 1 bath. There's a 3 bed, 2.5 bath upstairs. And then by kind of living in the neighborhood a long time and knowing where you invest, we've been more strategic. You know, opportunities come. We bought another property about 10 doors down from us, but that came from relationships we had in the neighborhood and bought that off market. So as we've gotten more experience, we've made more investments.
So to recap, because that's a lot of things that we just shared with you, let's break it down in terms of what our portfolio currently looks like and what we own.
So first house, condo, Alexandria, 9 years ago, 2 unit on Capitol Hill. The 2 unit that we live in now, which is more of a luxury 2 unit. This is a $500,000 renovation where we currently reside. And then our 4th principal residence is our Georgetown property, which you guys will be watching us take you through for the next year.
And principal residence means place where we live.
Yeah, so those are 4 homes that we bought to live in, that we plan to live in.
Yep.
And then we also have rental Capitol Hill, which is a luxury rental unit that is rented to senior executive. And then we have 4 more rentals in Virginia, 2 townhomes and 2 single-family homes for our current portfolio of long-term rentals. So it's pretty crazy what we've done together, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Georgetown.
Georgetown. We're excited about Georgetown. So we've done so many renovations. Georgetown, though, is our first no compromise project.
What do you mean?
I feel like in every project there's been some compromise, whether it's budget, timing, there's always been something that's been pressuring us in our lives. Whereas, like, we don't have to be anywhere else. I love this house we're in now.
Mm-hmm.
There's, budget's always budget, but like, we're not restricted in this next project, and we don't have to live there. So, it's all up to us. We have no restrictions as to what we create in this property.
Mm-hmm. I also think we've been desensitized in that we've been paying the mortgage on it for a year and a half, and we haven't started anything. So now it's like, what's a few more months?
Yeah, we had this property, guys, for a year and 3 months, and our permits and plans are almost done. So to kind of give you an idea of how much is being invested in this project, we're really all in, and we're so excited to share it with all of you.
We share all of this with the hope that it's interesting or helpful to you, but not to say that you definitely should do this too, or that we're perfect in how we do these things. And it's taken us a long time to build, and we are in the advantageous position in that Jason works in real estate, so he's seeing properties come on the market as soon as they're coming on the market, and we're also seeing opportunities that aren't even on the market ever. So that's part of it. And I would say if you have an interest at all, it's helpful to just get in it. And we've made mistakes, and we've definitely had our share of frustrations.
And we've never had like a couple mentor that helped us through real estate. And so we hope we can be that mentor for everybody watching us. We've experienced all the ups and downs at this point. Well, more to come, I'm sure. But I mean, it's a lot. And so we want this channel to be a resource for you to follow us, get to know us better, take you through our next renovation, but also learn from us and our mistakes. And we want you to comment below. We're happy to create videos on anything for you guys. What it's like to be entrepreneurs as a married couple, what it's like to renovate properties, what it's like to invest in real estate, what it's like just to buy your first home. Whatever it is, we want to share that with you.
Or even if you just like to see the arc of the beginning, middle, and end of putting together a home.
Yeah, we're excited to share this with you guys. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe, and
we'll see you next time.